This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
Well, fat people, we really hate it. I'm speaking for all fat people. We hate being hot. Show me one fat person that likes being hot, and I'm going to have some words with them. Like, why are you playing? You don't like being hot, bro. It is the 15th of February, 2024. My name's Corey Winfield.
I'm Adam Stevens.
Yeah. I like how you laid out on that.
Yeah, you didn't really warn me for my own intro.
People are listening like, who is it going to be? Is it going to be Justin? Is it going to be Marnie?
Oh, good
Is it going to be The Rock? Ryan Reynolds? You know, I get all of them on usually, but
close.
I pushed them off because I wanted you on today, Adam. And there's some other guests that are going to be joining me too. And they're looking at me like I'm lying about Ryan Reynolds and The Rock. It's really weird.
They must not listen to the podcast.
See, here's the deal. We're here in the D. We're here in Detroit.
Big D.
That's Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we're here in Detroit, or just outside Detroit, Livonia or something.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing training for the state of Michigan's peer recovery coach program, which I think it's the certified peer recovery coach is what we're going for.
Yes.
And there's a reason for this. And in order to use, because we're a nonprofit and we get grants because we like to help people, and we're doing that in Traverse City kind of a lot. And in order to pay somebody like yourself to be a recovery coach, you have to take their training. And at first I was like, oh man, for real, we got to do all that? But once we started taking the training at them, it's pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's honestly, it's way different than I thought. You know, it's like I actually wrote a blog about it.
Dang, bro.
But yeah, I was we've done trainings like this before, similar type things, and every time for me it was just something in a way kind of to get through. You know, you pick a few new things up, and that might help me a little bit or whatever. But this is just completely different. I've enjoyed it. I've learned a whole lot. I think the group of people we have here, just makes it so much better. Everybody seems to be really into it. I mean, I don't know. I've had a great week.
Yeah, it's fun, actually, and you can pay attention to it. The trainings I took before, if you want to go back to October 2019, which you can do on our app, which you get the App Store, the Google Play Store. But if you go back to October, something like that, I break down the review of the first time I went for a recovery coach training. I think I gave it a 2 out of 10 stars.
Sounds about right for me.
And 10 is good, so I gave it a 2.
Yeah.
And the organization that was putting it on was not very happy with that, and they're like, "You're not invited back to any more." And I was like, "Well, if you looked, I didn't sign up for any more. No thanks, I'm good on that." And then you and I both, I think we might have been in the same one where we took the fan training.
Yep.
We did that online,
yep.
And that was with Deb Garrett, and she's awesome, and that was fun too. But it was just different, and that was COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So to be now in person with the actual state training, because this is kind of what matters. This is where you can get funded through grants, and then you learn, okay, what's the model that the state wants to go for. And if you listen to the podcast I did with Marnie before I came, I had a lot of questions, because I thought it was going to be the trainings from before where they kind of shove it down your throat, like, you're in recovery when you say you are, but you got to wait 2 years before you can take this training. And you're like, well, what? That doesn't make any sense. And all the stuff that is kind of, I feel, pushed down on me about, oh, well, you can be in recovery and still get drunk every night. I'm like, well, because in recovery, well, you're in recovery and say you are, And I felt like that was going to be the motto with this, and it's not. Julie's great, Deb and Kevin are the people that are, putting this on, the trainers, and they're very good at what they do. They're good at getting the information out, and they're good at listening. Not one time did they say anything about me being stupid.
Right.
I said some pretty stupid things, Adam.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Today was just a hot mess, man. It was a hot mess.
Right. Oh,
the room because we were in this big room before, and then they just moved us in this little room because they're like, we need something. I don't know whatever they're doing here in Detroit at the building that we're doing. But
they took a page out of your torture therapy.
Yeah, they did, man. They're like, let's shove them into this little hot ass room, and then close the door. So it started stinking. If you were in there, you didn't know because you're used to it. But you go outside, get some fresh air, and you come back in, and you're like, "Whoa!" Now it didn't smell as bad as I just smelled the worst pizza I've ever smelled in my life. He ordered it with butt and feet on it, and he walked past me in the hall, and I was like, "Good Lord!" And then I get to the elevator, and there's 2, both on my floor. And, of course, God was like, hey, Corey, I love you, but you got to do it. So he opens the one that dude just came out of. I get in, and I'm, like, dry heaving in there. Apparently, I don't do well with smells.
Nope.
So it was horrible. But this room that they put us in, it's tight, it's cramped, but it is what it is, and we had some fun, though.
Oh, yeah.
You know, today was fun, and tomorrow's our last day. We've been here all week.
Yep.
So far, what would you say is your biggest takeaway from what you've learned?
Man, you would think I would have thought about this before this.
You wrote a blog about it, Adam. I mean,
no, I'm gonna write a blog about
okay.
it.
I thought you said you wrote one already.
No,
I was like,
that was just what I anticipated.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, I think I've just learned a lot, filled a lot of holes.
What?
Mostly about like harm reduction and stuff like that. Okay. I just didn't know a whole lot on that, and really, like today, the ethics was pretty good because it narrows down some of those questions. I mean, I think we were doing pretty good with it, but it just kind of helps. Yeah. But some of those exercises, man, I mean, just, it just helps you think about the approaches, or, it was more about putting myself in the situations that I already know that I'm going to be in. That's a big thing too. Taking this training now compared to before, as I actually have 8 months of actual experience doing it.
Right.
And so everything I hear is more applicable now. You know what I mean? So that's a lot, or, that's a lot of it.
Yeah. What? Oh, yeah. Well, I'm glad you asked, Adam. My biggest takeaway was that ethics wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, because that's like my get out of jail free card around work, because I'm like, well, I don't know, because I didn't take ethics, so you can't hold me accountable for that.
Yeah. Julie mentioned today that you won't be able to do that now.
Yeah. But it wasn't as bad as I thought. It was just more common sense stuff. And it was a good way to express with other people in the room, too, because it wasn't just you and me sitting there going, I think that's appropriate, or maybe that's not appropriate. And some things that I thought maybe weren't appropriate, some people would put in different light. And I'm like, okay, well, if that happens like that, and there's a lot of different scenarios that we went through that we gave there was a scenario where a guy named Jack Martin, you were going to go visit him at his house. You're going to do a house call, doing recovery coach stuff, and you show up at the crib. Jack is messed up. Jack's drunk. And he's like, hey, Adam, I can't talk right now. I'm heading back to the bar. I got to pay this guy. I had lost a bet. I just came home to get this money real quick. I'm going back to the bar. I got to pay off this bet that I made. And he's got his car keys in his hand. Mm-hmm. What do you do? Mm-hmm. Okay, what's your answer? And it was like, well, it depends. My house keys are on my car keys, so maybe he was just walking, and then we found out that, if he did drive, we have the responsibility to call the police. And then he's like, okay, well, what city are you in? Are you in Detroit? Because Michael, who was sitting next to us, was like, it could take a couple hours for the police to get there. Okay, so maybe we offer a ride. Maybe we give him a ride to where he needs to go. And they're like, yeah, but he could go in and buy drugs. And he could go anywhere and buy drugs. At least he's not killing a family drunk driving. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there could be a drug dealer waiting for you. There's a drug dealer everywhere. Like, what are you talking about?
I think at that point they're concerned about us getting in,
Right.
But I guess at that, I don't.
You can really keep guns.
It's not like you can get in trouble for
you can't
it.
keep guns in the car? Like, what's going on?
Right. What the?
Hey, that hasn't been brought up once. Weapons. Yep. Well, come over here.
Who do you want to talk about?
Who do I want to talk about?
Who do you want to talk?
Let's talk about
weapons with.
Weapons with. Who wants to talk about weapons? All right. Zach stands up and Zach's like, I will talk about weapons. So, well, hold on, Katie. We'll talk about weapons later. We'll all talk about weapons. All right. Zach, where are you from?
I am from Milan, Michigan. I work out of Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti.
And you like weapons?
I do.
Okay, so
I'm not going to say my company name though now because I just
good.
Associated myself with liking weapons. So,
do you work for the Dick Hunter show?
No.
Okay, because somebody here does.
I haven't. I'm not familiar with that.
You never watched Dick Hunter?
No.
Oh, it's pretty good. It's a good show. Anyway, we're talking about weapons here. All right, stop. So weapons did not get brought up. Maybe I was asleep because I did kind of nod off a little bit today because it was hot. I get real sleepy when I'm hot. Did you hear anything about weapons being mentioned?
No, I haven't, and it's kind of funny because I haven't actually seen in my company's policy a weapons policy, like anything official. Like, I carry a knife with me everywhere I go. It's a tool to me.
Right.
But as far as like CPL or anything like that, I have not seen any reference in the training or in my professional world.
I'm going to assume that you're not allowed to.
That's the assumption.
Yeah, I think in other trainings they told us we weren't, but that's CCAR training. And again, I don't know how different that is from the state. Maybe the state's like, nope, you're right to carry here. You can do that.
Yeah. I always urge on the side of caution and leave weapons.
When weapons are brought up, you always have to think, what would Texas do? And then you just go with that, man.
Since I'm in Michigan, I'm not going to think that.
But then you do it just a little bit less. Yeah. just
tone it down from Texas. Maybe
you can only carry 6 bullets with you.
Maybe a hard Alabama.
I don't know. It could be fun. But how's speaking of fun? How is the training going for you so far this week?
It's going really good. I'm learning a lot.
Yeah.
I think my biggest takeaway is learning how to listen to people without being an asshole. Actually listen to people, be empathetic when you hear them.
Yeah.
Like basic conversation skills that we never picked up growing up.
What was your drug of choice?
Alcohol and benzos.
All right, so obviously it'd be easy for you to have empathy with somebody who has an alcohol problem. You can be like, yep, know what that's like. What's your favorite part of the ER visit?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't remember too much of them.
A lot of people think, and my mom was one of these people where she'd be like, hey, you can die from withdrawal, which you can. You can go into seizures and do all kinds of bad things. But my mom would think, okay, well, we got to take you to the hospital then. And then we'd show up at the hospital and they'd be like, what are you doing here?
I think for me, my favorite part was always because I'm dual diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder.
Okay.
So mine was always, do we admit him to the psych ward or not? And there'd be like an hours-long battle if I get admitted or if they let me go home. And fortunately, most of the time they let me go home, but that was always the rough part, like having to wait till the morning for the social workers to come in. And
yeah, that's a different road.
Yeah.
Because for me, and I heard someone say it earlier, and I believe it was Melissa, where I would go to the ER at the end once, and I'm doing air quotes here for people listening, is you learn how to play the game. And for me to get to rehab sometimes, I had to go to the ER.
Yeah.
And so I would go there and I would say I wanted to harm myself. And after you say that so many times, then they throw you into the fun ward. But that's what I had to do, to get the help that I needed. And I'm not proud of it, but at the same time, I was in need of help, and that's the only way I could get it. I became known by this one lady as the favorite drunk in the ER, which is not something I was going for.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? She's like, you're our favorite drunk. And I was like, that's not, no. I thought you were going to say, hey, you're cute. You want to go on a date later when you get out of here, They kicked me out one time when I didn't have any shoes.
Oh.
Yeah, and they're like, well, and I was in, I don't know if you're familiar with Southwest Michigan, probably not, but Buchanan, Benton Harbor, probably 35, 40 miles away, and they're like, well, you just got to walk home. I'm like, and it was like middle of winter, snow on the ground, like, you just got to walk home.
No shoes, just walk home.
Yeah, and my phone had like 1% power on that battery, and they're like, we have no charger for you either. And I'm like, seriously, no one here has an iPhone that I can just plug it in for just a second? They're like, nope. I was like, thanks.
Well, my favorite part is that your record follows you. Your medical record. Yeah. I went to the ER a couple of months ago, unrelated. I've been sober 5 years, no substance use. My mental health is under control.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And they saw my medical history, so I'm in there for like a hurt rib. And then I go back to my room. They take me to a room. Now there's people waiting in the hallway, and I'm there for like a hurt rib. I'm like, why am I getting a room? So I go, that's funny. There's a cage around the TV. That's funny. There's nothing in the room.
Familiar.
That's funny. There's no toilet. There's no rim on the toilet bowl. Oh, that's funny. There's no faucet for this thing. Oh, I'm in the psych ward. They put me in a psych room. That's what's going on.
Just here for some rib pain. Thanks. So you got treated like you were, I don't even know. I would say drug seeking, but they weren't even. They're just like, nope.
Like,
let's lock them up first, and then we'll sort it out later. Yeah, we'll sort it out later. Man,
because I have this long history of going to this hospital for that reason, so they saw that on my medical record, even though I hadn't been for years prior. And they're like, "Oh, diagnosis schizoaffective, psych ward." or psych room. I didn't actually go to the psych ward that time. I calmly explained that I'm not there for my mental health, showed I had full faculties, but
Yeah, start just peeing all over the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me out of here. You get
Start
number
thro-
2.
start throwing, yeah, start
Who wants
throwing the
doo-doo
fun
on their
stuff.
face? I'm tired of holding it in my hand. Yeah, I hate that when that happens. But no, so what's the best thing so far? You said you got 5 years. I do as well. What's like the one thing that maybe you didn't expect, or maybe you're just like overjoyed with about saying that you're 5 years clean?
Honestly, it's getting to work as a recovery coach.
Yeah.
Giving, like, there was a lot of talk about giving back while you're passionate about it. And I remember my recovery coach and what he did for me, connecting me to the help that I needed, and just to be able to pay that forward and give that back is by far the most rewarding. I mean, is it cool to say, yeah, man, I'm 5 years sober? Of course. But it's more rewarding to be able to give back to people who needed help like I did. Is by far the most rewarding.
When you were in early recovery and you were talking about your recovery coach, did you have any resentments towards him, or did you have any kind of feelings towards him, or how were you paired with him?
You know, so I was paired with him when I went. One of the times they were debating, do I go to the psych ward or do I go home? Well, go home, but you need a safety plan, and we're going to connect you to this recovery coach. And I didn't feel any animosity. It's kind of like, hey, you have what I want. How do I get it?
Okay.
You know, it was, you're someone I can learn from. There wasn't any like jealousy of, or you know, even the way he talked to me, it wasn't. He helped me believe that I could do it too. It wasn't. No, he was great, and he's kind of what modeled me to want to become.
So it wasn't awkward, and
No.
Because when I first started going, it was in Benton Harbor to this place called Riverwood, and they just were like, "Hey," and it was something brand new at the time. Like, "Hey, we got a recovery coach now." This guy, and he actually drove from South Bend. He would kind of complain about how he didn't really want to be there, and when I would meet with him, he would just talk about the drugs he did, and I was just like, what is this? And he didn't last long. And then they got another guy named Ray, and this is what's so cool about it, because you brought your recovery coach up, so obviously, and I don't have to even say obviously, because you just said that meant a lot to you, and you looked up to him, and you thought that's cool, and I want that too. But Ray wasn't really my recovery coach, but he was like the recovery coach of the center, and he led some groups here and there. But when I was leaving to go upstate for treatment, he pulled me into the office, and he said some very crucial things to me that made me think. And he told me not to answer it, and I got on the bus, and I was thinking for like 2-3 days, and then I realized, you know, like, what was it that I put above alcohol? And I can't believe it took me 3 days to remember, oh, yeah, you know, that's what I put above alcohol. But it was crazy, and he was so influential in that. And then, like, now it's crazy because I'm up in northern Michigan. I started a nonprofit. Of course, we got 217 Recovery going on. We got the 217 Recovery Center. I have 6 employees, including myself. And who would have thought that had been possible? You know, I just got 5 years in December, and I've done all that crazy stuff. But Ray reached out to me and is like, I'm going to start a nonprofit. Can you help me? And I was like, dude, how funny is this? Like, if we could go back in time and I'd be like, whisper in your ear as you're telling me, what are you going to put above alcohol? You got a long bus ride. Go figure that out. And then I whispered in your ear, that guy's going to help you start a nonprofit in a few years. Like, you'd be like, what? Who the hell? The devil is in my ear. Like, there's no way he would have believed that, you know? And
it's kind of a cool student becomes the master type.
Yeah.
Like you see in martial arts movies, and that's a really cool story. So now you're advising him with.
Yeah. You know, doing the nonprofit stuff. And he just started that, and they're now an RCO down there in Southwest Michigan, which they need really bad. I feel unfortunate for him, because if you're in the wrong area with the wrong PHP, which that's prepaid inpatient health plan for people listening, which you can find a list of them at 217recovery.com. But it's kind of unfair, because what area you're in, it's not like everybody in Michigan needs help, gets treated the same, which is bullshit in my opinion. Fortunately for me, though, we are in Region 2, which is Northern Michigan Regional Entities Region, and things are great. But down in Southwest Michigan is SWMBA, Southwest Michigan Behavioral Health. Not so good. I mean, I'm sure there's worse places you could be, worse people to go to, but it sometimes feels like they're not connected in with everybody. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of grants that I know that are being spent incorrectly there. And I don't know if the state's holding them accountable, but I think that's something for Ray to work on, because as much as I would love to take on every single PIHP, you got to stay in your lane.
Exactly.
You know, like, I'm not trying to take over Michigan. You know, I'm not some of these places like, oh, I want to be big, I want to be everywhere. I don't. I want to help people in the area that I live in. I think that's crucial.
Yeah.
You know, if you try to be too many things to too many people, you become nothing to everyone. That's something I heard once, and
you stretch yourself too thin, and then it's kind of like with what I do. There's 4 intersections. You have mental health, incarceration, substance use, and homelessness.
Yeah.
Now they cross over a lot, but our focus is on substance use. Everything we do in our grants, like when we go out to the warming centers in the winter to hand out resource bags with hygiene products, snacks, and things people need, we have to put Narcan in it, because that's what the grant requires. We have to make it substance use disorder related. So we put in our resources, we put in the Narcan. But as far as different areas being treated, it's not even a regional by state. If you look at, I work in Ypsilanti, Ann Arbor. There are 2 cities that meet right down the middle. Now, Ann Arbor, U of M, big college town, very expensive place to live,
Yes.
gets so much better resources than Ypsilanti, the lesser known sister city. Not the nicest of areas, more poverty driven, I would say. And our grants, sorry if I'm going on a tangent.
No, you're good.
Off track.
Just want to say hi to the mayor. We know you're working on things there in Ypsilanti. I doubt he's listening, or she, whoever.
I can't tell you.
No, but so they don't get the same services because
It's really by the county. So Washtenaw County, you get the same service in Washtenaw County.
Oh.
The facilities in Ann Arbor, though, are so much nicer.
is that like the alcohol tax money? Because I know that's kind of split like that up in northern Michigan.
That I'm not sure of.
Where's this weed money though, Zach?
That's what I want to know.
Where the weed money is? Because there's billions, I heard. And
How political can I get?
as much as you want,
Let's
man.
go into the next campaign.
For who though? I talked to Gilchrist, Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist. He was a good listener, you know. And I told him, I was like, look, bro, like if you support the recovery community will support you with a vote, you know. But you got to see it, you know. And he was listening, repeated everything back, you know. He was doing active listening. He did a really good job of that. But now I want to see the action behind it, you know. And I guess they gave the RCOs a little bit more money this year, but I mean, it wasn't crazy money, you know. It wasn't like, wow, like now you're spending that money, like cool, because they're hiding it under pillows or putting it in like maybe a chest and like burying it somewhere around Michigan, and we're supposed to find it.
Well, you know, it's funny because I get asked a lot when we're running these events, and what do you think the solution to substance use is? What do you think the solution is? What can we do? And we have the solutions, we just don't fund them.
Yeah.
When you have privatized prisons, the incentive is to send people to prison instead of rehab.
Mm-hmm.
That's my hot take on it.
Yeah.
That we just don't fund what we have out there. I know our company is stretched thin.
Yeah. I think Reagan screwed a lot of things up for a lot of people, man. And I could go on for hours about that. But I do want to get some other people on here too, but I do appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And we'll chat again, man. We can do this over, I don't usually use Zoom that much, but we could use Zoom. We could use Discord.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I want to start like a recovery community organization type podcast that's like statewide.
Oh, that'd be great.
I don't know why I'm whispering, but I'm doing it anyway.
It's nice when you whisper.
Yeah, so I'm just going to tell you about that because I think that would be really cool if we had like a recovery network.
That would be pretty cool.
I know I pitched to the state, and I know she don't listen because she was like, I don't know what a podcast is. So I kind of make fun of Sarah a little bit. But I think if we all were connected in and we could do it live, and if like everybody had their own hour or two blocked, or every day they jumped on, and in the times like on the weekend when we're not there or whatever, we could just run old episodes or like people listen. I don't know. This is an idea.
Oh, that's a great idea.
It would cost a lot less than a lot of stuff they're doing, like spending millions on radio commercials or billboards telling people not to drink and drive. Shit, if I only would have saw that last billboard, man.
Exactly.
Damn it. They just would have spent, maybe $1 million more on those billboards. Damn it.
So, all right, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. I really do appreciate it. And so the next person we're going to have on would be the person that gets up and comes and takes the microphone. And we'll see. There's a few people here. And it looks like it's going to... Are you waiting for me to call on you?
Are you looking at me?
Okay, we'll go with Melissa. Come on down. So Melissa, ironically, works at a place that I've never been to, but I have. See, she works at a place that I'm not even going to mention, but they do have one over by where I grew up, and them next to them woods. So when I was at the facility that you may or may not work for, it was in the area of the woods by where my family raised me. And there were people, and I kid you not, this is not joking matter, they would jump out of the window and run the men were on. If this was your facility, it looks very similar to the one that, or maybe you allegedly work at. So there's a hallway. So from here down, it's the men, and from there down, for people at home listening, I'm sorry, you just use your imagination. I'm looking at hallway and just think one side of it's women, one side of it's men. Probably a lot easier if I just was said like that, but I'm trying to be dramatic here. So the guys would jump out the window because it was like it's not jumping out a window; it was on the first floor. But you just push it open. It's like them old school windows where it's like kind of creaks up halfway, and then they just kind of run out, and then they run to the women's window, and they open it up, and they make babies in there.
They're called rehab babies.
Yeah, and I was so irritated by that, not because I wasn't getting any rehab babies, but because like people weren't taking it serious, and I was like trying to figure this shit out. And I got so mad, like, I almost got into a couple fights in there. There was this one guy, he was missing an eye, but he was being such a dick. And, like, everybody was tired of him. And he kept talking so much, allegedly, at this place that he may be working, to this facilitator. And everybody was just like, oh. And finally, I just stood up and was like, would you just shut up, please? Except I didn't say please, and I dropped an F-bomb on him. And then he stood up, he was like, what you going to do? I was like, take out your other eye.
Did the facilitator have one eye or the...
No, the guy that was like just talking shit. This sucks. And he was just like, he just wouldn't shut up. And I was done with it. And I'm not a badass. That would have been horrible. I got beat up with a guy with one eye. You know, after I'm talking shit, I'll take your other eye. He just beats the shit out of me, pummels me right there. What happened to treatment? Nothing good, man. Nothing good.
To die.
Found out I'm not a badass. I don't fight. That's why I hung out with the people who did. But anyway, so that place, though, does hold a place in my heart. A little pun there, maybe play on words. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying, there's a place where I grew up that people know. But so let's talk about the training that we're at.
Okay.
For the state of Michigan. I find it entertaining and informative. So does Adam. Zach, I think he said as much. What's your biggest takeaway from this training so far?
Being able to network with you guys and hear where you're coming from, and then hopefully down the road using that network and these connections to help clients.
Yeah, because that's what it's about. And it's so crazy because I saw your name allegedly on this website out there for this treatment center somewhere in Michigan, and I almost emailed you. Because I was like, man, we got to connect with these people. And one of the things that we do is transportation. And it just makes it go so much easier when we can just call and say, hey, we'll be there at 10. That's it. So, all right, see you.
Yeah, it's crazy because when you told me that, I didn't know my name is on the website.
Yeah.
Oh, so
I was like, oh, should I email Melissa or Tammy? Maybe Tammy. Maybe it's Sarah, Susan, whatever.
Yeah.
So I emailed maybe one of those other people. But I was very close to just going, oh, I'll email. Because the other person who doesn't work there anymore, like that email kicked right back, and I was like, "Oh, damn it!" And that is a frustrating thing about this industry. There's other places I'm like, finally, like because you'll get I'm not even gonna call them Nazis because that's unfair, but you'll get these people to answer the phone, and like they would work for Trump or something, and you're trying to get his taxes and figure out what shady shit he's up to, and they're like, "No, this is ice cream parlor," and you're like, "What? I'm just trying to get." Is this person coming today or not, man? Like, are you expecting someone at 2? Can't tell you nothing. You want nuts on that? You know, and I'm like, no, man. Like, for real, dude, quit playing. So it's very frustrating. And then you finally like crack through that guy, and you finally get somebody, and you're like, yes. And usually it happens in person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Are you Corey?" And I'm like, "Yes." And I'm like, "I'm so and so. I'm the this and that." And I'm like, "Oh my God, thank you. Can I talk to you? Can you I'll be my contact." And then a week later, I'm like, "Hey man, hey, I don't work there no more." I'm like, "Oh Jesus." And that's happened like 3 times at this one place where like it was just irritating, like the turnover is so much. And I don't know how the turnover may or may not be at a place that you may or may not work for, but I would love for my mom's governor, Whitmer, to actually increase the wages for people who work at these facilities. Because in Traverse City, you can make, was it $23 an hour working at McDonald's?
Are you?
And yeah, McDonald's. I've never worked at McDonald's. It could be hard. I don't think I'd be good at it. I'd be dicking around too much, and they'd be like, "Stop it, you're fired." I don't know. And people love McDonald's. You know, I probably screw up a lot of stuff. Never done that before, so I'm not trying to say I'm good at it. But I'm just saying, there's a lot more bullshit. I mean, I don't know. People at McDonald's probably put up a lot of bullshit too. I know people drive by shooting sometimes and throwing food back at them. I'm sure that's a pain in the ass. But
in recovery, kind of the same concept, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes
number 2s come flying, I heard.
Yeah.
I don't know. But if we could just get paid more, you know, because there are people that are very talented, very good, have great message, great story, but they have a family and they have a car payment, and cost of living is going up. And working at a place making 12, 13, I've heard 14, 50 sometimes.
10.
Yeah.
10.
Like, who's going to do that job?
No.
Somebody who probably didn't care about it. You know, like, I would wear this. I would wear my pajama pants and a hoodie in every day. And I'm like, you're not paying me enough to buy any other clothes. So
what, they're jumping room to room? Okay, good for them for $10 an hour. I don't give a fuck.
Well, you want to give them condoms or something?
Right.
Because last time I knew, you didn't have the budget for that. So
Yeah.
No, I don't know. It's frustrating sometimes, but I just wish that things like that would happen. And if we just sit here and don't say anything about it and just, you know, make our tea all proper-like, then nobody's going to hear about it. But until we start saying something about it, then maybe people will kind of catch on and listen. And I was talking about votes earlier. People in recovery do vote.
Yeah.
Yeah. Suckers. So pay attention to us.
In addiction, no, we don't, not necessarily voting, but.
I've never voted a day in my life.
She never voted. Well, then you're not in recovery. That's a new rule. Just made it up. Put it on the ethics part. If you're in recovery, you must vote.
I don't have very good options.
I just started TikTok, so look out. This TikTok thing, I don't even get it yet. I just put my videos I make up there. I'm not sure how to do it. I'm not dancing or nothing.
What are you doing?
I just put my videos up there. I got like 40 people that follow me now.
Are you doing like them eating ones? What are those called? What are those called when you watch people eat?
Weird as shit. I don't know. Fetish?
Do you know what I'm talking about, Zach?
Eating fetish?
Where you eat. The videos where you're watching people eat.
Food fetish.
Mukbang.
A what? Mukbang?
Yeah, it's called mukbang.
I'm 45 years old. I'm too old for that. How old are your children? Because you must have children if
Yes.
you're talking about mukbangs. Hey, you want to go watch a mukbang? Zach, what would you think that would be? Probably not people eating. Those people are really like, they're being so inappropriate. There's people, we're in the lobby of the Holiday Inn. And these people that are sitting over here eating are probably like, these people are being so inappropriate talking about mukbanging.
Zach is over here Googling mukbang.
Hey, let's go make a mukbang video. Room 305. Had some hot and fresh delivered earlier.
It smelled like ass and feet.
No, that was the other guy. I'm serious. That was the worst pizza I've ever smelled in my life. It was so bad. And I see they're both on 3, and then that opens, and I was like, and I got in. That's when I was like, Jesus, why you do that to me?
I don't know how pizza smelled bad.
Oh my God. Well, then you put butt and you put feet on it. Like seriously, like it was like I was gagging in there.
Anchovies?
Oh, I don't even know, man. Like anchovies probably would smell better.
Oh.
I mean, it smelled like.
So it wouldn't have been anchovies?
Anchovies are like incredibly salty.
Incredibly salty. You ever play sports?
No. Do I look like I played sports?
I don't judge a book by its cover.
No.
Did you ever play sports, Zach?
Yeah.
Okay, you remember that locker room smell?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it smelled like that, but worse.
The way already complained, and that's
That's and that place that I may or may not work smells like that sometimes, right?
Like booty?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I was at Walmart, and I'm not even going to talk about it because that's rude, and maybe, he has a problem. But I was at Walmart, and I was in lane 3 or 4. It was like on Saturday with my wife, and I walked up and, I did, gag reflex. This dude, and I don't know, man, if it was like a yeast infection or something. Because I had one of those in jail, and that was not fun.
No.
That was
no.
ooh.
No. That
I
is
thought I was
fun.
going to get beat up for having a yeast infection. I was like, well, if you effers will let me take a shower,
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, that's a whole nother podcast right there. But, man, it stunk so bad. And I just went up to the lady at the Walmart because my wife's like, I can deal with it, honey. I'm like, about to make everybody throw up too, And so I go up to the counter. I'm like, yeah, there's something going on between 3 and 4. I don't know if it's a stink bomb, but clearly it was the guy or what. And the lady, she didn't even look me in the eye. She's like, okay. I'm just looking straight ahead right now just for people that aren't here. Okay, we'll look into it. And I was like, she must know. I could not have been the only one to complain. It was horrible.
Was that an employee?
It was an employee, yeah. And then my wife's like, no, it's him. Because he was training like last week. And I was like, how? How would anybody sit next to that? Because she said he was sitting behind this older woman that was showing him the ropes. And I just started saying stuff like, I would have quit. And my wife's like, what? I was like, no, there's no way I could have done that. I would have quit. I would have looked at my boss and like, it's him or me. Like, one of us is leaving today because I am not training that guy. But again, I will pray for him because clearly something's wrong with him and it's not funny, to make fun of people. And like I said, I had yeast infection before.
Yeah.
I'm not hiding from it. It was like in my leg, like in between my stuff there. Just saying.
Like under the balls.
It's honesty hour.
Like Famunda.
With Melissa and Corey.
Famunda, right?
Yeah, it's more like in the crease.
Okay, yeah.
Here, look at my arm. So it was like that.
Okay.
It's like right there.
Okay, yeah.
And it went all the way down there, and I'm like, what is going on? And then they're like, that's yeast infection.
That's what you get monkey butt for.
Yeah, well, see, they didn't give me anything in jail.
No, they didn't. Fuck you.
Jail was a good place for me to lose weight because I couldn't eat anything. Because they didn't give me my antacids or whatever, my omeprazole, or my blood pressure medicine, or anything else. Thanks, Marion County. Yeah.
Oh, Berrien County.
Yeah, they get sued a lot.
Yeah.
So if you know someone who wants to start a class action, give me a call.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's plenty of people out there, like everybody that's been in that jail. So back to fun talk with Melissa and Corey. What else you want to talk about, Melissa? We talked about what you thought was the best part of the training, right?
What was the best part for you?
It hasn't happened yet.
Oh, okay.
Like when they get done, they go, all right, you can go.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Tomorrow.
all right. I assume that would be my favorite part, but since we're not done yet. But so far, I would say all of it. I know, real generic, right?
No, I'm just surprised with you. It's all of it.
No, today was real fun. I like when people will say things and I hear things, and I think Katie said yesterday, but I'm not going to even repeat what she said. But today, there might have been somebody say they were talking about a dentist, and you don't know what's going on with people and their teeth or whatever's going on, and maybe if she goes in to see the dentist, she's afraid, and maybe she doesn't want a couple people up in her mouth, and I just let out like a because my mind goes places. And next thing you know, like everybody at the table's laughing, and then I can't control it anymore, and it just became just like, oh my god, like really, like did we just do that? And then later, it was a mention of it was very innocent. It was in which you didn't get it for a long time. You're like, what are these people laughing
it took
about?
Me a long time.
And it was mention of white coats.
Yeah.
And then I look at a gentleman named Clyde, and Clyde looks at me. And I just go, I don't know. We both thought the same thing. Like, of course, well, he's going to be scared of a white coat.
Yeah.
You know? So Clyde just starts laughing, and I start laughing. I think that's when I was uncontrollably laughing, and then
because Clyde was laughing, absolutely. Yeah.
And then Julie's like, "What's so funny?" And I'm like, "I can't even tell you." You know, like I don't know. Like I have an imagination and like the things that people say sometimes. Because clearly I was thinking, oh, like a Ku Klux Klan member, maybe, you know, like I would be afraid of a white coat, and then the way that it was said, and then later, I think it was DeJuan. It was like, yeah, you know, that's why I'm afraid of the white coat or something. And I was like, oh my god! But his was like legit, you know. And,
yeah, like you're scared.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just because it was so hot in there. I don't know.
Maybe it was delayed response.
I'm just delirious.
Yeah.
I don't know.
From the heat.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
But I wasn't trying to be a smart ass. I hear things and sometimes I just react, and even just a little, you know, can be enough sometimes, because then other people catch on. But that's what Katie said the other day, because they were talking about stuff, and she was like, oral. and me and Mark were like, but she wasn't talking about that kind of. She was just talking about, like, I don't even know what she was talking about. What did I have to ask her?
Yeah. You were talking about oral? Oral what? Oral?
It was like some kind of, like, it was no, not that, no, Adam, not that kind of oral.
That's where my mind went.
Yeah, no, well, that's where mine did too, and so did Mark, and we both went,
What? Do you remember?
Yeah, I do.
Now she remembers.
About, because we were talking about the dentist and stuff.
Talking about the
and
dentist.
Oral work. Like
Oral work.
oral
Yeah,
health.
getting oral. Yeah, oral.
Oh, okay. Oral work with people in your mouth.
Well, no, that was today. She
Okay.
didn't want a couple strangers in her mouth.
Okay.
And that wasn't said by Katie. That was said by the instructor. But she was just like relaying something like, oh, because you don't know what people go through.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you can just assume, hey, get in there and let's go, Ben, let's go do this. But they might be afraid. They might have had a bad experience with it. And, you know, maybe she doesn't want a couple strangers in her mouth.
Absolutely.
And that's the
She
way it was
doesn't
said.
want to. She doesn't want to go into the back door from the
Yes,
dentist's
I
office.
heard
Neither.
That, I heard that too. And I
too.
was like, not even gonna smirk, not even gonna, because I'm not gonna be responsible for causing all this ruckus and this trouble in here. I already feel like they're pinning me the bad guy. I'm just like, hey, I'm just trying to have a little fun, man. Drink a little coffee, take a little notes, rate myself.
Right.
How efficient I am or I'm not.
See where my stress is at? No,
4?
that was where yours was.
No, I thought you were saying, do you know where my stress is at?
No,
I thought this was
no,
another game that we were not wanting to play. you know?
no.
Okay. 5 was the worst, right? Then it was probably 4 or something. I lie on those things all the time. You know, and she's like, and that was great that she was like, in this moment, not like 2 weeks ago, not like 2 days from now, like in this moment right now. And I want to go back and change everything, but I thought that's way too much work. And then, because it was so hot in there, I was falling asleep. And, like, I had my head like this. You know how you do in high school with your hand on your head?
Yeah.
And I was, like, doing like this. And then I noticed, and I showed Adam on my paper because clearly the pen was moving because I was falling asleep. And there was a few answers where I was just like, one. It was, like, all up the paper. And I was like, well, that happened.
Let's see tomorrow who runs to the back row.
Well, all my stuff's there. So.
Oh yeah. We can't just take your stuff.
No, claiming seats. Yeah, I would be, if I sat in front row, it would not be good. It would not. I'm glad a woman, maybe not named Clarissa, like, moved her back so I could sit next to Adam today, because I was like, I don't want to sit in front. Like, please no.
I know DeJuan walked in and was like, fuck. You can see its face go, man. I should have got here earlier.
Yeah. It's been good, though. But in all reality, and being real, the seriousness of it all, the training from the state is really good, and I'm glad that they do it. And the people they have running it, amazing.
Yes.
And they will probably turn this podcast off about 5 minutes ago, so none of them will hear that. They'll be like, man, Corey's just on there just making fun of shit. Like, this is not cool. And that's the beauty of having a podcast that nobody pays for, is you can do that kind of things. Because I've heard other people having podcasts are like, this paid for by state, and they go on forever. And I'm like, Jesus, man. You can't just say people suck, things suck. Like, you can't do that.
Oh, when you're sponsored by,
I would assume.
Prime Juice or whatever.
Yeah. What was that from? Some Tropic Thunder, the booty sweat or something? Well, Melissa, your segment's brought to you by Booty Sweat. And
Dick Hunter.
Dentist. Yeah.
I think it's time for Katie or Sharon. What do you think?
Whoever. No, Sharon's like, no, I'm not doing this.
Come on.
Nope.
It can't be hard to answer
She listens to podcasts. What'd you say?
It can't be difficult to answer questions.
No.
It's so not difficult.
It was pretty easy. I mean, some people freak out and they're like, I can't do a podcast. I can't do it. Adam used to do that, and then he was like, that wasn't that bad. And now, like, I make them sometimes. I'm like, guys, get in here and let's do a podcast. And I'm like, I guess. We're on the clock still. And then I always trick them. They think they're leaving at 5, and they leave at like 6:30 because they're doing a stupid podcast with me. It's not fair sometimes. So, how's it going?
Good.
And we actually know similar people.
Yes.
And you don't have to say who you work for. Whatever. You can, you can't, whatever. We're not, here to bash or talk about them. I mean, if you want to give them a plug, go ahead. But if not, you don't have to. But I like those people
Yes.
you work for, and we're going to run into you again, I would assume, May 17th.
Absolutely.
Yeah, UFAM rally.
Yep.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Big surprise coming.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything yet.
I have a surprise, but I haven't told anybody. I think I told somebody today, or maybe yesterday, but I can't tell it yet.
Yeah, it's too soon.
It is.
Way too soon.
Way too soon. And usually we bring shirts there, and we give them away as long as people sign up, which if you go to 217recovery.com, or if you have the app, you can sign up.
It's very handy.
It is. You can listen to every podcast we've ever done. It's like 900 of them, maybe, something like that. That's a lot. But there's a contest on there where you can sign up to win a free shirt. And the trick of it is, one day, I'm going to send an email to you. Now, I haven't done it yet. And we've had it going for like 4 or 5 years. But everybody who signs up, I send a shirt to. Because I figure, man, if they're going to take the time to sign up and actually wear one of our shirts, yeah, I'll send it to you.
Right.
So, but then the trick of it, now I got your email. And one day, you're going to get an email from me. I swear. I haven't done it yet.
Maybe this will be the year.
Because there's some companies that once you sign up, man, every Staples is the worst. I swear to God. Don't ever sign up for Staples emails. AutoZone, no thanks. And even you tell them no thanks, they're like, it's going to take 18 months to unclick this. And I'm like, it's not that hard. Like, you can really get somebody on that.
Walmart and Meijer's the same way.
Are they?
Yep.
Yeah. I like Walmart, though. They hook us up.
Right.
Thanks, Walmart. They support recovery. At least the one in Traverse City does. We appreciate you. Send as many emails as you want, Walmart. You're good. We love you.
Did you hear the new thing with UFAM that we cannot sell any kind of shirts this year?
Mm-hmm.
At all?
Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting into because, like, technically we didn't sell shirts. Like, we gave shirts away, and then people were like, hey, here's the donation.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, apparently you can't sell things on Capitol grounds.
It's a joke about prostitution. I'm not going to tell. Because, see, I heard a lot of politicians will use but I'm not going to do it because that's not even cool.
No.
I don't like politicians much anyway, so I don't like, that's just not cool. But my mom told me that. Shout out to my mom.
Nice.
She's like, yeah, down there in Lansing, there's all those politicians just, getting prostitutes all over. So I think that's how she said it too, the same attitude. Maybe she had more attitude when she said it.
She emphasized it.
So should we bring signs and say, get your, no, that'd be bad. I'd say probably get your prostitute somewhere else, but that's in poor taste, I'd say. And again, we're just having fun. We're just having fun here. We don't mean any of this, most of it, but.
Right, but we're in recovery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got the excuse. We're sick, twisted people.
Right.
So, if you can't sell, but I mean, people can donate to you.
I would think so. But yeah, I don't know a whole lot about it. I just know that we can't sell anything anymore.
There's a way around everything. Like, are you kidding?
Right.
Let me figure it out because I know Christian was telling me that, and I said, well, we don't really sell anything. Like we take donations, but people can sign up with the code, and once they do that, we see it. We go, what size shirt do you want? And we just hand it to them. So that's not really selling anything.
No. You're just signing a piece of paper.
So, and I don't want to spoil the news, but I'll just say I don't think I'll be at the tent much this year.
Okay.
So I'm going to make the guys who I pay money to work for me.
To run the tent.
No, hold signs at the tent.
Okay.
And it'll say free stuff.
There you go. That works.
Yeah.
That'll draw people's attention. Everybody likes free stuff.
Mm-hmm. A free oral exam with Dick Hunter. And it'll just have a sign, and it'll have like a little tent, and it'll have a little drape on it, and then just like, he's in there. And we'll have my friend Tyrone come out and be like, ha, got your ass. And I think it'd be pretty funny.
It would be.
So we get some politicians. There's always that one politician that comes walking around, I'm in recovery too. And we're like, yeah, okay, buddy. And I don't know. But we'll see.
Right.
Now, would you be surprised if you actually saw that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Would you send everybody over to us? Like, go get that free exam over there. What is it? Just go over there. It's free.
Right.
Not selling it.
It's for free.
I think that's going to be my cologne. We have commercials. They're fake colognes. And they're on the app, of course, and on the website, too. So you can check those out. Adam, yours is going to be up next, I think. And he's still working on his scent. Okay, give you the story. And maybe people, if you haven't heard the story either, there's a commercial from Chanel. I think that's how you say it. De Chanel or something. It's all fancy. That's why. Is that what I said? Chanel? Well, because I had a DE in front of it. Chanel. Anyway, it's called Blue, but it's BLEU.
That's spelled backwards.
Yeah, that's how fancy it is.
That's like Inside Out.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, whoa. And that has to do, did you watch Dune? Dune, and he was in like The King and I or something, and then somebody said, you said he was in Baby Boy or something? Or Beautiful Boy?
It was Timothy Chalamet. Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet. Chalamet? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about now. No, you know. Anyway, so he's in this commercial, and I'm like watching it, and my wife, we're just sitting there, and we see this dude, and he's got like this leather jacket on, and he just like looks at the camera, and my wife's like, he's like the biggest like douchey looking guy you could probably pick for this. And I was like, the whole thing was bad, you know? And I was like, psh. I was like, me and the guys at work can make better commercials than this for colognes. And so then it was on, and I had a podcast like a day or two later, and I was talking to all of them about it in my office. And we started just like, what would your cologne be? And a guy by the name of Mitchell that works for us, he had a little incident where he was disc golfing. And
oh boy, that
get the belly rumble, gurgle, gurgle. So he ran to his car. He grabbed some teepee and then shot back into the woods, you know. And Mitch, a big guy, and so like when he told us that, we were like, "The what you do?" And it was on campus of the college, and I'm like, "You did what?" And I was like, "Oh my god, dude! Like that's horrible." And then as we're driving to shoot the promo for a disc golf video that we were doing, a disc golf promo. And he's like, here's where it happened. I'm like, what? And I look over, and there's a freaking porta potty right across. I'm like, dude, why didn't you go in there? And he's like, I wasn't there at the time, I swear. And I was like, dude, that's messed up. So when it came time for Mitch's cologne, like, we're just dying laughing. And he's like, I want mine to be called Bear, and I'll go in the woods, you know. And then we're like, oh, my God. And it kind of played with the spelling it wrong. So we spelled it Bear, like B-A-R-E. But he's like, I just so happen to have a bear mask, and it's like a helmet. Like, he could probably wear that to, like, an amusement park and be Bear Man. You know, like, you put it on, and I'm like, perfect. So we did that. We went to the woods, and we did some shooting.
nothing like taking a shit in the woods.
That's what he said. I'm like, dude, you probably scared people, man. I was like, did you look around when you came out? Did you do something with the toilet paper? He's like, no, I just had it in my hand. I'm like, you don't think people, when they saw you running into the woods and then running out with toilet paper, was going to happen?
Right.
He's like, I wasn't really worried about that. I'm like, oh, God. So we did that, and that was hilarious. And then Justin is another guy that works with us. Somehow we were on a podcast, and he said something or kept saying fabulous, but he didn't realize it. So then we just started calling him fabulous. And, like, we photoshopped a picture of him, made it look like it was like a, I don't know, fancy little thing, and made it all pink and stuff. And so we recorded his, and he's got like this pink boa around, and he's like at the park with children. and he's like popping bubbles, like we're blowing bubbles at him. He's like just popping them with his finger. And it's like fabulous by Justin. And so that was pretty funny. But you know, Adam was like, I think I'm just gonna be wood, like just wood. Which, I don't know. It's gonna be fun. But if you watch the videos, like some people might be like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But just keep in mind, we're people in recovery, and we're having fun, and we're being productive, and we're not using, we're not drinking, and we're laughing. So at the end of the day, that's a win.
Right, something we never used to do.
Mm-hmm. And then I'll let the cat out of the bag on Mitch's second one, because Mitch is having so much fun with this. He's like, I got an idea for another one, and I want it all in black and white for the black scent. I'm like, okay, this will be fun. And he's like, I want to just put the hood, the mask on, or whatever, and then just go shirtless. Mitch, big guy. And so I was like, well, maybe not. And it was funny because when I was describing the Timothy Ofea, Chalamet. I was talking about him. I first said that he had a jean jacket on, and they looked at me like, what? He had a jean jacket on, looking cool? And I'm like, no, leather jacket, sorry. So we went out and bought Mitch a jean jacket. So he's going to be shirtless with the jean jacket on. And then at the end of it, which my wife does not find funny, so he's going to take the jacket, and his is going to have more of my voice doing the commercial, doing the voiceover, where at the end he takes it out and goes, Black by Mitchell, where you can go jack it off. And then he'll have like the jacket being thrown and then like just show him from the back. I think it's going to be freaking hilarious. My wife's like, ugh, you and that jacket off joke. I'm like, but honey, it fits. It works this time. Yes, this was meant for this because he's going to have the jacket on and then he's going to have the jacket off. So like Black by Mitchell, you can go jack it off. Yeah, and he'll throw the jacket maybe on Fabulous's face. Justin's like, I didn't sign up for any of this.
You should call it moist.
That might be his other one. Like, I don't know. Mitch is on a roll. Mitch he'll hear this and go, that's great. And I'm like, one at a time, buddy. But then during the Super Bowl, did you guys watch that?
I did not. I was here.
No. Michael Cera, you know who he is. Actor, used to be in Arrested Development. He's been in some other things. Kind of has plays the same character every time, but it's kind of funny. He's got a stupid fake clone commercial. I guess there's some cream called Sarah, and he's all like walking through like I don't know, satin curtains, and he's like, Sarah, you can have Sarah's cream on your face. You know, I'm like, this MFer stole from me. Like, oh my God. But I bet you his was inspired by that same commercial that I saw for the blue, which actually, Ulta, they sent us a little crap in the mail or whatever, and it had a thing in there, and I smelt it, and it was really good, so I bought some. But it wasn't because they're commercials, because I was like, damn, that does smell pretty good. You know, maybe I'll give me some of that.
Sucked in by Chalamet.
They're probably like, man, that kid's just selling it for us. Meanwhile, we're back here not making any money, writing their next commercials. Now, if they do something else where they do jack it off, oh no. That's why we got to get that film now so we can get it like, this is when we did it, this is how we did it, they stole from us.
Right.
And they'll be like, yeah, you got to get that copyrighted, buddy. Sorry.
I was going to say trademark, but.
Yeah, they have to copyright it, and they'd be like, that's why you do that. Learn a lesson today.
Yep.
But so, did you want to talk about what we're? I think I've just been talking to you the whole entire time. What's your favorite part of the training so far?
Honestly, it's the networking and meeting other peer recovery coaches. When we all have the same goal in common, but each of us do something different.
Yeah. I don't think there's one person that I don't like, which is weird because usually like that one person. I'm
right.
Like, But no, everybody in there, that means I'm that guy. Shit. Damn it, it's me. Oh, whatever. It'll be over tomorrow. I just got to get through breakfast and all that. It's fine. But no, like for real though, it's been cool, the people that I've met there. And some of them, I don't think I've actually known any of body in there, but we've all like known somebody who knows somebody who knows this guy who knows that guy. And
yeah, we all have a friend of a friend of a friend.
Mm-hmm. Except Zach. I don't know anybody Zach knows.
There's 3 people there with my organization, me, Clyde, and Diana.
It's him, Clyde, and Diana.
Oh, boy.
Well,
Giving too much away.
Oh, no, now they know where he works.
And then I like weapons.
And he likes weapons. You probably heard him laughing about the jacket off clone. So, Black by Mitchell. Well, I'll use your laugh in the video too. Like, now, are you guys gonna be at UFAM, Zach?
Yes.
Okay, good.
We'll see them there too.
Yeah, we'll meet them there.
Yep.
That'll be fun. And UFAM, it's Unite to Face Addiction, Michigan. This is, I think, the 7th, 8th.
7th or
7.8.
8th, maybe 7.5.
Mm-hmm. That is relevant. It's an annual event, and it's happening
In Lansing,
May
at the Capitol.
At the lawn. And you can't sell things, apparently.
No.
So it's all free there. So that's cool. Whatever.
But there'll be I'd say probably close to 150 different type of recovery resources on that Capitol lawn, if not more.
Yeah. And it's fun. It's a good day, man. You meet a lot of people, and we usually send our couple people out with the wireless room. Like, we can tell them to say stuff. It's fun. It's stupid, too. It's fun and stupid at the same time. And we found out, like, a little trick is our friends at the GTB tribe. Mm-hmm. They came down, too, and they had to park their car. And then you can only park there for like 3 hours or something.
Yep.
Otherwise, you get a ticket.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
One. Yeah. Yep.
You get one ticket.
Yep.
So they had to move their car every 3 hours, but then they were late, and so they had to like find a spot like all over. Like, it was horrible, and they ended up getting a ticket anyway. And I'm like, oh, shit, I'll easily take that ticket. So we like just parked there and just kept them there. Like, put them on. How many you need? You know, like they just gave us one.
Yep.
$8. Just easy.
Yeah,
like,
we're there.
I'll spend that all day.
We're there first thing in the morning, 8 o'clock, 7:30, just to set up, and because of course the company that I work for sponsors it, and so like we're parking dead on the street, and we're getting parking tickets.
Yeah, it's better to take them. Like,
Right.
it seriously is. Like, no, they won't. I mean, no, they don't tell you. They didn't tell us.
No, they didn't tell us, and I think a lot of it has to do with knowing that there's an event going on.
Mm-hmm.
The vehicle is not left overnight or 100%
Right.
unattended.
Yeah, just take the ticket, man. Damn it, now we're not going to find a parking spot. I had a great idea that we might do. A buddy of mine owns a limo company
Interesting.
in Lansing.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, I want to show up in like glasses and like doing the podcast actually as we're walking out or getting out of the limo, and just have people getting out, and then like have everybody act like somebody's a big star. I don't even know me, but I think I was thinking Tyrone would jump out, so they'd see this black guy jump out, and they'd be like, who is it? Is it Eminem or something? You know, like, who is this? You know, and then just have us come up there and like just act like we're superstars or something, and then have people the whole time going, who the fuck is that?
Right.
Who is that? Who are those people? They came in a limo. They get out looking all bougie. Like, they got security. Like, who is that? The whole time, people are like, who is it?
You're gonna have to top it. I mean,
That's what I wanna do.
what'd you think of last year's performance?
By Eminem?
Sure.
No. I don't remember much.
There was some singing going on, some writing on some construction paper.
I was doing podcast.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's totally fine.
I was trying to fly a drone.
Okay.
I was busy. I was busy. We didn't take part in the events because we had people like we were selling shirts to. Just kidding. For donations. No, but for real, they were donations, you know. But no, how'd you think it went?
I think it went great. Absolutely 100% great. That was the second year I've been to UFAM. This will be my third year, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Didn't they have like Luke Bryan or something? Luke Combs, or they had some guy that sang country or something, or was that 2 years ago?
And that, not since I've been there.
So what if we took it? Okay, now I'm going back to the limo and the fun part. So what if we took it one step too far and like had Dick Hunter up there and just singing songs? I wonder how long they let it go. If I'm like, hey man,
Let it go. Let it go.
because it was like a couple years ago, like you could actually pay to speak there, and maybe they still have it like that. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But if I just wanted to do an hour of Dick Hunter performance. Hey everybody, thanks for coming out. Big Dick Hunter. Or like Sam Booth over there.
Is Dick Hunter your alter ego, or
No, I don't know. It's a new thing, this Dick Hunter name. So if you have the last name Hunter, you're looking for a kid's name, don't do Richard. Just go right for Dick. You know, he can always change it later. I was gonna name my kid President.
Interesting.
And my wife said, "Shut up! You get the last name. I'll pick the first one." Damn it, President Winfield. I go back to like 3rd or 4th grade, and I just look at the teacher going, "First day of school, President Winfield." Okay, name's President, huh? Yeah, I'm President. And then I'll just tell him a bunch of like stuff that's not. No, you can do this because you're president. Like how much trouble that would get him into. It'd be great. Then he actually has to run for president. He's like, well, I got the name president.
Right.
And Mr. President, don't call me by my first name. Stop it. You call me Mr. Winfield. Thanks. Call me my first name. Very disrespectful.
That even sounds important.
President?
No. Mr. Winfield.
Mr. Winfield, yes. To the office, Mr. Winfield. Yeah. On the docket now, court case. Shit. It's my turn. No. Well, this has been fun. We've been going for about an hour. I'm not trying to break my coworker's record. He did a podcast. His average, I think, is 2.5 hours. Don't know how he does it.
That seems like an awful long time.
I know. Even an hour seems like a long time.
Right.
You know, we talked about a lot. Is there anything else anybody else wants to say? Shout out to your mom, dad, sister, brother, cousin, husband, boyfriend, daughter, weapon of choice. Nothing. Zach, nothing. Okay. All right. He said Winchester. Okay. Interesting choice. No, he's like knife.
Too much.
Yeah, he did. His name's not even Zach. It's Dick. Hunter. No, but thanks. And, you know, if you're listening and you think the guys are just messing around, we are. We're having a good time. So thanks. And if you want to go back and listen to any other episodes that are maybe more on point to recovery, you can. I mean, there was some recovery in here, though. There's always a little bit somewhere, I think.
Yeah.
But 217recovery.com. We're on every single listening app you can find. We have our own app.
Absolutely. I found it.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to find. So check it out. And we'll talk to you again later.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Win a bunch of free shit from 217 Recovery. Go to the app or the website, 217recovery.com.